If you like that drop, stick around. I'm going to show you how to get that Ternion Sound vibe. Let's break it down step by step and let me know in the comments which artist I should cover next. So the BPM for this one is 140. I'm going to start with the drums, then go to the synths, and finally the fills. The drums sound like this. And I have a kick drumming here, 3 different snares, and something that I want you to notice is that I'm alternating in between this and this snare. So this one sounds every time, and this one every other. And that just creates like a little bit of a call and response within the drums themselves. Which is something that I have noticed that the guys at Ternion Sound do very well. Also, there is a little bit of a hi-hat, actually 2 hi-hat patterns in here. So this is the first one, pretty closed hi-hat, and I'm playing with the track delay in here, 15 milliseconds. So that means that even if this looks like on the grid, it's actually 15 milliseconds ahead, like something like that, or like this. But instead of me having to go to each and just do that, I can just put 15 milliseconds in the track delay and that will like automatically do it for me. So that's something cool, so that the hi-hats are not like exactly on grid, but a little bit off, and that just gives it like a nice human feeling. I also have this other second hi-hat pattern. And both of them sound like this. So just adding some movement with the hi-hats in there, that's the idea. Now going into my synths, first of all in the group, as usual, I have sidechain. So I'm doing my sidechain with this rack that I created, and it's just basically ducking everything with this automation every time that the kick or the snare hits, as you can see. Then I have this first sound, this Wonky Wub. For this one, I started with a sine wave, just a simple sine. And in the LFO2, I created this shape with these values, and I'm mapping that to the main tuning. So I went to the matrix and I set LFO2, global main tuning, and I'm using unipolar mode, 23%. So that's giving it a little bit of a pitch bend every time that a note hits. After that, I enabled the second oscillator with this wavetable, position 3, phase distortion from B, 22%, and the level is all the way down. Then I enabled the filter with the high 12 shape. This one is important. You will notice this parameters over here. Then distortion, asymmetric distortion, or asymmetrical, I don't know what's the correct name on that. Pre-filter with these values. Also important for sure. You can play with the frequency and the Q and this slider, and it will change the sound a lot, which can be cool. Then I have compression, 16% in the dry wet, phaser with the rate all the way down. Then another filter, this one is also pretty important, because it's the one that gives like the movement, and then reverb. If I disable this one, We still have the same movement, but not the timbre. It's just like a different sound, which can be pretty cool, to be honest, but I wanted something more wonky and high-pitched like that. Then LFO1 is being routed to the cutoff, as you can see, 41%. This shape envelope, and you can see that I have some movement. That's because I went and used the macros to map the X and the Y axis of the curve. So that will look something like this. X, Y. That's exactly what I did. And that just changed the shape, as you can see. Then this same LFO1 goes to this another filter with those values. So once I have the macros mapped in here, what I did was I just clicked config and then I just clicked both of this to bring them out of Serum. And then I did some automations. This is the automation for the Y axis, and then this is the automation for the X axis. And that's just changing the sound slightly. So yeah, pretty cool to play with that. Then I have this EQ and a little bit of a reverb throw. You will notice that I use that a lot in here. A little bit subtle, but it's important. So just doing like a little reverb automation. And that's for that one. Then I have this minimal wub group, sounds like this. And it's made of the sub, mid bass, and texture. So I'm gonna start with the mid bass, and this one started with this wavetable, this LFO, with these parameters, and being modulating the level, as you can see. Then Monster 2 wavetable in the second oscillator, and also the LFO is modulating the level as well. Then going into the effects, I have hard clip distortion, once again using the pre-filter mode. Single band compression. Outside of the patch, I have erosion, and I'm cutting everything below 300 because my sub, which is this one, is covering for that area. So let's look at that one now. And this one is pretty simple. It's just a sine wave with this LFO shape being modulating the level, and then some soft clipping distortion. Lastly, I'm just EQing so that I'm cutting everything above 300 and just decreasing a little bit on the low mids. So both of them together. But now we're missing the texture layer, so let me break that one down. So once again, sine wave in the first oscillator, phase distortion 58, then another sine wave but 1 octave up, level all the way down. Sounds like that so far. This oscillator C is just for extra texture, modulating the LFO1 shape in there. 1 octave up, and this is from the Serum 2 digital wavetables. Check out that the envelope is like a plucky sound. Then going into the effects, I have distortion, compression, this filter, and this delay, which is acting more like a widening effect. Oh, I didn't actually turn on the distortion, so let me do that. So yeah, as I was saying, this delay is acting more as a widening tool. So I put this on milliseconds. They're not linked, so that I can control the left and the right channel. And the left channel is 8 milliseconds and the right channel is 1 millisecond. So it's a pretty short delay, and it creates this effect where it makes things very wide, as you can hear. Yeah, and 3 of them together. Oh, actually, I'm missing just the EQ in here. and that's how they sound together. By the way, if you want to mess with this project, I uploaded the full project with the presets in my Patreon. That's where I put everything from these breakdown videos. So if you want to check it out, check the link in the description. Now I have, after that, this sub drop, which is just made with my sub rack. If you get the project, you will obviously get the sub rack as well. It has a lot of knobs to play with. Drop is the one that I'm using to create that drop effect. If I put this back to 0, it's just like a sustain sub. 39 sounds like that, so that was pretty good. And then I have this evolving bass group sound like this. Check out that in here I also have a little bit of a reverb automation and this auto pan, which is acting like a tremolo effect, phase all the way down, amount 50%, 1/8 rate. Just to have a little bit more control over the volume shaping here. So this is the main sound, and this is the layer. So let's break down this one first. So oscillator A is a sine wave, once again, LFO1 with this shape, phase distortion from B. Then another sine wave 1 octave up. You can see how familiar this is with the previous ones. It's because they're mostly like variations from one sound. That's kind of the way that I build sounds in here. So this is how this one is set, just volume all the way down, 1 octave up. Then I have this filter affecting oscillator A. Bandpass 24. Effects, I have distortion, once again with these settings that you have seen before. Compression. Phaser. And filter. That's for the patch itself, and then outside of it I just have this EQ cutting or decreasing a little bit on the low mids. But that's pretty, you know, not interesting, so this layer is kind of what makes it interesting and evolving. And let me show you how that was done. So in here I have once again a sine wave, pretty similar to what you've seen. Then this wavetable, which I have already used in this project, I think. 1 octave up, level all the way down, phase distortion is 42. Filter, this time I'm using the high filter, high 6, with those values being modulated by this LFO1. Then going to the effects, I have distortion, post mode, those values, multiband, compression, phaser, and here's the key for this sound. I'm using LFO2 to create this shape, and I'm modulating the cutoff of the filter with the LFO. So that's what makes it sound like evolving and getting bigger and bigger. Yeah. Then I just have an EQ cutting everything below 300 because this one is covering for that area and you don't want them to clash. Going into the fills now, I've noticed that Ternion Sound uses a lot of drones and noises to fill the background of the tracks and give them more personality, so that's what I've done in here. These reverb hits are really important. I think that they're especially important. So let me just play this on its own. It's going to be quiet. I'm going to turn it up a little because this is meant to be in the background, to be subtle. And yeah, if I play the drop without this one, you're going to notice the difference. Now with the fills. it just helps a lot. So what I put in here was like this drone sound that I got from a sample pack. I have a lot of reverb on it with my reverb throw rack, and then I'm just EQing so that only the parts that I want are playing frequency wise. So it sounds like that, pretty like eerie stuff. That's kind of what I went for. Then I have this texture noise. And for this is something interesting. I put shifter on that, and I play with the automation or with the LFO, as you can see in here. Ring mud. If I take this out, it's just like static sound in a way, but this one gives more movement to it. Like adding the shifter brings more movement. But yeah, that's cool for like, weird sounds like that. Then I have the hits, as I said, that they're pretty important. And without the reverb, they're nothing. They're just like little like Foley hits, like really short, like metallic type hits, but with the reverb, it just brings a lot of character to it. Lastly, I just have this couple crash hits with also a lot of reverb. And yeah, that makes for the fills. Actually, if you like this drop, I think you'll love my distinct motive tutorial. Tap the video on screen and I'll see you there.